There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true, the other is to refuse to believe what is true. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought which they seldom use. I found I had less and less to say, until finally, I became silent, and began to listen. I discovered in the silence, the voice of God. It is better to try something and fail than to try nothing and succeed. The result may be the same, but you won't be. We always grow more through defeats than victories. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. Take a chance and you may lose. Take not a chance and you have lost already. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. Once you label me, you negate me. Confidence is the present tense of hope. The unhappy person is never present to themselves because they always live in the past or the future. It is the duty of the human understanding to understand that there are things which it cannot understand. Do it or don't do it, you will regret both. Which is more difficult, to awaken one who sleeps or to awaken one who, awake, dreams that he is awake? Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. The more people who believe something, the more apt it is to be wrong. The person who's right often has to stand alone. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but, if one will, are to be lived. A man prayed, and at first he thought that prayer was talking. But he became more and more quiet until in the end he realized prayer is listening. To be a woman is something so strange, so confusing and so complicated that only a woman could put up with it. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. The question is not to be or not to be, it is what we should be until we are not. It is not the path which is the difficulty, rather, it is the difficulty which is the path. The truth is a trap, you cannot get it without it getting you, you cannot get the truth by capturing it, only by its capturing you. It is not where we breathe, but where we love, that we live. For without risk there is no faith, and the greater the risk, the greater the faith. God creates everything out of nothing. And everything which God is to use, he first reduces to nothing. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. The door to happiness opens outward. The self-assured believer is a greater sinner in the eyes of God than the troubled disbeliever. Once you are born in this world, you're old enough to die. To love another person is to help them love God. Hope is passion for what is possible. Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. If you think you understand, it isn't God. I'm so misunderstood that people misunderstand me even when I tell them I'm misunderstood. Who am I? How did I come into the world? Why was I not consulted? Life is lived forwards, but understood backwards. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. Love is the expression of the one who loves, not of the one who is loved. Those who think they can love only the people they prefer do not love at all. Love discovers truths about individuals that others cannot see. Most men pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that they hurry past it. The deepest form of despair is to choose to be another than himself. Only the noble of heart are called to difficulty. And this is one of the most crucial definitions for the whole of Christianity, that the opposite of sin is not virtue but faith. What is a poet? An unhappy person who conceals profound anguish in his heart, but whose lips are so formed that as sighs and cries pass over them they sound like beautiful music. The thing that cowardice fears most is decision. One day you will regret that you did not hear these quotes earlier. Do not lose the opportunity. Watch our next video.